What Twitter has done is fact-checked him talking about mail-in voting ballots and it leading to fraudulent voting. So I think we have a clip on that, right? Yeah, that's what they fact-checked.
Today, the president also found time to spread falsehoods about mail-in voting, of course. There's no need to read the tweet out loud. The allegations are not true. Up on the screen, you can see the blue label at the bottom. It's small. That's what Twitter does. That's their big fact check. Put there by Twitter.
It's not enough for Anderson Cooper.
No. And then you can press on the link to find the facts.
By the way, the link goes to CNN.
You won't find the facts.
Thanks for telling us how to click a link.
I mean, Twitter is now acknowledging you won't find facts in the president's statements. That's where we are.
The link is as blue as my eyes.
And that link is available at http://. Yeah, he's saying it's not enough that Twitter is redirecting people from President Trump's tweets to CNN. And by the way, Anderson Cooper, only 30 seconds before that, was calling the president a small, sad little man. So Twitter is redirecting his falsehoods on the crazy idea that mail-in ballots could be easier to fudge, which we'll get to in a second, to you, Anderson Cooper, to you, as though you are real news, and you're upset? Where do we go from there? The only place we can go is a full-on ban.
Well, and that's exactly what they want. They want dissenting opinions gone. And if you have an opinion, what he said in there is that you can never find facts in Donald Trump's tweets. Well, that's not true. There's a lot of times that he tweets out stuff that's very factual.
Yes.
He just happens to not agree with you on mail-in ballots. And you say, oh, no. We got to get rid of that because that's not true. Well, who's to say?
Yeah. Well, no, I can tell you who else is to say. This is actually a quote right here. Absentee ballots remain the largest source of potential voter fraud. This is from the Commission on Federal Election Reform, chaired by Jimmy Carter, by the way.
Yeah.
Jimmy Carter is the one who said that.
Far
now
right.
I don't believe it.
Far right, Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter
It's a
said-
different Jimmy Carter.
So this is important to note that we can get into the federal elections, obviously, and the voter fraud. I think we also have this from they found no evidence, right? Twitter, that mail-in ballots could lead to election fraud, despite what Jimmy Carter says. But the DOJ, they just announced, by the way, that a man is being charged with attempted voter fraud using mail-in ballots. Let me read you this exact quote from the article.
You don't
this
say.
is the reason I'm reading this is I'm not saying just
Bad
anecdotal
timing.
because you can look at the evidence and you can look at the Federal Election Commission like I just listed. I encourage you to go look at those sources. But this is the most recent one. This is from 2 days ago. Okay? So that's why I'm using this. Not that it's the only case.
It's not like
I just
20
pulled
years
the most
ago
recent
video
one.
that you have to go look for?
Pretty recent.
The clerk reported the finding to the West Virginia Secretary of State's office, which began an investigation. The investigation found 5 ballot requests that had been altered from Democrat to Republican. On 3, so I'm saying they can be altered either way. On 3 other requests, the party wasn't changed, but the request had been altered. Cooper was responsible for the mail delivery of these 3 towns from which we tampered: Onego, Riverton, and Franklin, West Virginia. According to the affidavit, Cooper admitted to altering some of the requests, saying it was a joke. It was just a goof.
Oh, it was a goof.
It was a goof.
I was joshing. I was Josh.
Yeah, why don't you tamper with someone's mail while you're at it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, the problem. So, have you dug into the mail-in ballot problem? Like, what the specific problem is with this?
Well, the specific problem is when you go down the trail, there is a point where you can effectively get into that process without presenting valid ID.
Well, absolutely.
Depending on the state.
You could also be dead. You could also not be living in that residence anymore. So I did some research into this, and there was something around 20 to 30% of the ballots either weren't counted correctly. Like when they came back, a voter made a mistake. The signature didn't match perfectly with what they had on their card, the registration card. They did something that would have invalidated their ballot at the polling place, but at the polling place it can be fixed by somebody who's there. Or it just went to the wrong address and never came back. Right? 30%, 20 to 30% of the votes. Are you serious?
Yeah.
And this is a good system that you think we should be going to?
Well,
Much less the fraud possibility.
I had to do absentee ballot one time.
Yeah.
And I couldn't readjust my address. It was my parents' old address.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, hold on a second. This is where I live. Oh, I can't get that done in time. I was like, really? All of 4 months before the election? It was incredible lead time, by the way.
Wow. Have you ever mailed something?
I just said, can I just vote then? I mean, can I just vote from that house? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess you can do that. I'm like, okay. That wasn't even my district.
Yeah, exactly. Well, has anybody ever mailed something that got lost? God forbid we trust the United States Postal Service to
I got an
get every
espresso
vote
machine
there.
that looks like they played kickball with it.
Yeah,
it looks like they took nothing short of an actual cricket bat and played a 7-day game on this espresso machine box. It was sent from Black Rifle Coffee. By the way, blackriflecoffee.com/Crowder. Thank you so much. Use the promo code Crowder. You get 20% off. The wonderful guy that had an extra espresso machine at one of his shops, and he sent it.
Yeah.
And it's like a $5,000 espresso machine we're going to have here in the office. It was $2,400 worth of repairs.
Yikes.
From the post office.
That sucks.